Hello. Hi, welcome and thank you for being here today. I hope you're having a beautiful day or night. We're going to dive in, get a little clarity, see what's going on overall with the energy. We're going to start with this neon deck, the clarifying love situations, and see what comes through. This reading's timeless, so whenever it finds you, it's the right time. See what resonates, leave what doesn't, and always follow and trust that divine inner guidance that's in you, and try to make balanced decisions between logic and intuition, so your decisions are sound and based in love and for the highest, greatest good of everyone. So we're all uplifted in love. Let's begin. Let's see what would be helpful for you to know. Let's see what God, Source, Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness, our higher selves, angels, and energies of love have for the highest and greatest good of all. What is the overall energy today? Is woo, you got some fireworks, you got some chemistry in the mix. So maybe there is reason to celebrate now, or coming in, or it's already getting excited that something is coming in. This is feeling some energy that's it's kind of bigger than the butterflies. It's fiery sparks in your soul. For some of you, this is about another person. For some of you, these fireworks are about a project you're working on. Maybe just your overall vibration is feeling extra sparkly, but it's also the energy where you just, I see just like catching eyes with someone, or like really embraced in somebody's laugh, even if that sounded a little funny. Maybe you really like somebody's laugh, or this person just has a really good sense of humor. There's definitely flirty energy here. Even if it's not the big words, there's still a flirt in the face. It's definitely a love at first sight. It's where something, if you already have gotten past the initial falling in love or feeling the fireworks, this is where a certain partnership is about to really take off. It's where you have an instant chemistry and connection with someone. They just blow your socks off. I just thought of that song by Alanis, Morissette, Head Over Feet. I had no choice but to hear you. You stated your case time and again. It's that one. That's so old. Intense feelings. And it's just this energy of recognition. So it could be a soulmate sort of thing. Soul contract, you just kind of don't know how you really kind of know this person before you even know this person. So let's bounce today. I actually want to clarify this. So let's go to the Angel Wisdom Tarot and get another message on fireworks. I feel like that was maybe a confirmation. Tell us a little bit about feeling full of fiery sparks. Tell us about the fireworks. What are these intense, sassy feelings coming in for the collective or already in your life? Maybe that's why you're more curious, because it's your wish come true. Wow, look at you. Maybe you're somebody else's wish come true. This is that genie in a bottle. There's so many possibilities. How many wishes do you desire? How can you make more wishes for tomorrow? How can you make these wishes not just wishes but tangible experiences? It's savoring the moment. It's not just that energy upside down of gluttony. It's all there. You have to hoard it all before it goes away. It's like, no, you get another wish tomorrow. So for some of you, if this is not about a person, this is something that you have been working on, or you need to get started because it's really going to take off. It's that idea that takes you towards your destiny. It brings happiness in your soul. It's really beautiful. I think I need my glasses. I'm getting all excited for you. Look at all these different opportunities that you have in the cups. You have this angelic energy. You have an eagle, which is a sign for you tapping into your soul's higher purpose. It's also a victory energy and really soaring above the situation, soaring higher than you've ever flown before. I don't even know what this is. It looks like actually looks like marbles. Maybe you feel like so much is happening, you're almost losing your marbles. Don't lose your marbles. There's also this balance with the yin yang, balance between masculine and feminine, something coming full circle. And even within that yin yang, you know, there's a little of the other spectrum, the opposite spectrum in the eye. So you also have this star, like you're a star, this possible, it could be a dream, but I feel like it's more of an energy, because I get that, like, I actually see Sirius. It's almost like a pulsing star. Don't take this too sassy now. You have a golden ticket. You better take that ticket to the chocolate factory and see what happens when you open up the gate. It's like your private key. You have this dove of peace. You have a caduceus, so there's this entwining DNA, energy, vibration, healing thing. So maybe you are healing. Maybe one of these wishes is healing from an injury or an illness or something that you're going through. It could even be you sending out prayers for someone else to be healed, and you're starting to see a lot of progress. I think instead of marbles, I actually think they're gems. So maybe it's carrying the right stone with you. What's your like little lucky stone? If you go in a store and there's just one you keep picking up, it probably has an energy that you vibe with. Just don't go for the prettiest one all the time. Go for the one that kind of draws you in. You know, you got to rub this genie bottle here. Come out of the smoke and mirrors and make something grounded and tangible, one step at a time. Savor each of these experiences, each of these blessings, each of these moments where it's not just one dream coming true here. It's like you have one dream and that magnifies for another open door and then takes you to a hallway where there's a new possibility. It's just this beautiful expansion energy. Wishes come true. Your dreams become reality. And it's a magical time in life. Good fortune, faith in the universe that all will be well. I definitely feel like we should bounce today. So let's keep bouncing. Maybe they're not marbles. Maybe they're like those, you know, those little bouncy balls that you used to get in like a gumball machine. Kind of see that. Let's get you an angel number. I did something weird. I combined like 3 whole decks of angel numbers together, and they're kind of hard to shuffle. But let's get you an angel number. Maybe this is a synchronous. Let's see if I can hold these. My hands are huge too. Oh my God. Okay, let's do this in half. I don't think that's going to work. Let's get you an angel number, maybe a synchronistic message. Maybe this number is important, a birth date, a life path, something on a license plate, something you see on a receipt, something you see over and over, the time when you look at the clock. I'm going to put it all together though to get one here. So what is the most important angel number to know about? Maybe it's a 9. Maybe you connect to the number 9. 9 is also like almost completion, almost to the ending. I looked at that at 9. So maybe it is about a 9. What is? I feel like I need a drum roll. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. You're off. Letting go. It's also that, you know, it's also that conundrum with that manifestation, or even just when you pray, you let go, you let God, you allow the best to come in, and you're in the energy of gratitude that it will come through exactly as it is meant to. Not to put something in a structured little box, and that's the way it has to happen. You're going to send that perfect little prayer out there. It's like, if it comes through better, you'll take that too. So it's also, you know, having that energy in you where you actually feel the vibration, you feel the intensity, you feel that happiness with anything that you can imagine. Put all the details that you want on it, and then completely forget about it. and it's when you have that space that something has the time, the room, and the vibration of the universe to work it out. But you have to be open to it may not working out exactly like you thought, but that energy that you felt, you know, that happiness, that enthusiasm, that laughter energy, that giggling energy, that falling in love energy, whatever it is that brings that inner smile to your heart, on your face, is what you will feel, and feel grateful that that wish came in. 321, 321, 3. That brings you to a 6, which is the energy of love, also balance in love. Surrender and just let go of control. Released resistance and trust in the flow of life. I always like that. I always see the big pink flamingo floaty. And you're just going down that river of life. You got your, you know, spiritual floaty, and you're just bobbing along, whether it's going over a waterfall or, you know, the babbling brook, or you get to some rapids. You got the right support to just get over all the humps, all those rocks. Knowing that, you know, it's almost like when you have that control, you're like lassoing yourself to the side of the river, or you're putting an anchor that's way too heavy in, and when you get to those weird rocks, you're going to get stuck. So knowing that everything unfolds in divine timing and for your highest good. This is really being in the energy of faith. What can we bounce to next? I don't even know. Something different. I feel like I saw that river, so let's do a traveler. I haven't pulled this out in a while. This is the Denise Linn, Sacred Traveler. So let's get you a traveling message. Maybe you're traveling, going on a vacation, road trip, letting go of anything that was holding you back or feeling stressful. Letting go of, I just heard preconceived notions. Letting go of how your story will unfold. Just be on the page you are in and enjoy that ride. What is one sacred traveler message helpful to know about? What would be insightful? That would be sticking, you know, that's exactly what I saw with the getting stuck in the rocks in the river. I feel like there's something really special about your energy where you're like King Authur here, pulling the sword out of the stone. So maybe it has to do with clarity. Maybe something got stuck between a rock and a hard stone, and now something that was kind of stuck is going to start to like flow. There is a bird here, so there's something about communication. There's something about something got blocked on your path, and you're going to figure out a way over. I feel like somebody has a message here. They're like, hey, just grab on that branch, you know, haul yourself over that big rock. Know that you are King Authur, or I don't know why I just thought of James Authur. I can't think of anything that he sings. I'll find a song and I'll put it in the playlist. Maybe there's a perfect song. Maybe it's the name James Authur. Maybe it's about being an author for some of you if you write, because it is a sword. It has to do with thoughts. If you have an idea, maybe you don't recognize you're the one that can make that dream come true. You're the one that can make something happen. I just hear how no one's done it before. So if you need to start writing, even if it's just a business plan, even if it's a love letter, even if it's that text, you know, write that text, have that conversation, say hello, and then see where it goes. I do feel like if somebody stuck their sword in that stone and they weren't quite sure how to get it out, or if they weren't feeling strong enough that they were the one to handle something, or to address something, or to clear something up, or to even talk about dreams or fears, that somebody's going to gain their strength. I also feel like there's some kind of divine intervention sort of energy where you get that sword, but then that ball actually just rolls away. Overcoming obstacles, you can overcome anything. You just have to believe you can. If something is absolutely getting in your way and you can't go a certain direction, backtrack, find your lasso, go up the hill and pave your new path, pave your own way. Do something a different direction than the one that was constantly not working. Sometimes things have to also work themselves out, especially if that control has to do with anybody else's free will or their situation that doesn't directly involve you. Sometimes you have to have a big shut door so something can work itself out, and you have to go your own path in the meantime. And if paths are supposed to crisscross again, they will. I actually saw like a shape, like a crisscross, almost like you're going a different way. Maybe somebody did block you, or it's about an X. Maybe it's treasure, X marks the spot. But then I saw the paths kind of going like this. I did see that caduceus before, right? Almost like DNA. And then I see something just going parallel together. Huh. I just like that energy shape that I saw. All right, let's go back to the tarot. Let's use the same tarot. I feel like this one is good. I feel like this one is the one that's twinkling like those fireworks. Let's ask maybe about the obstacle, what you should know, how to overcome something. Stepping into a magical time in your life of good fortune. I do feel like if you felt like things were at a slump, or, you know, that road wasn't very lush, or you were stuck in the desert, you haven't felt these kind of sparks or falling in love in a very long time, even if that's with someone you've always been with. I do feel like something is going to change. I feel like if you were kind of stuck on the bottom of that wheel, that, I don't know, you unhinge something, you let something go, you push that wheel away, and you, I don't know, I actually just saw a flat tire. Maybe some of you do need to take a look at your car. I just saw a nail in a tire. Or maybe it's just about getting one of those, even with this, look. Sometimes you don't have to get a whole new tire, you just get one of those plugs. They actually work pretty well. Maybe it's about feeling plugged in. I feel like some of you need to get your oil changed on your car and get your tires rotated. I know that is just an extra message that came through, but I see that all that smoke, and it made me think of an engine. And one of the easiest ways you can blow an engine that could be prevented, you know, if you follow the however many miles you have, is just getting your oil changed. So make that appointment, make that pit stop. What is another message? Please and thank you. What would be helpful to know? Whatever I said before about feeling like you were in the desert or left out in the cold, or maybe that closed door or that roadblock, you know, got in your way, you fell into a pothole, something took a slump, that's what's going to change. You're not going to be under that wheel anymore. The 5 of Coins is where somebody generally feels like they're left out of a situation, that there's something that's always kind of missing. You know, it's feeling like you don't know where to ask for help or what to do about a situation. And I did ask about the obstacle. So if your finances were a little weird, you're gonna either gain a new opportunity put a little spice to the way you were doing something so there's more profit. I actually just saw a mold. If for some of you, you did something by hand all of the time, if this is a project that you make, it's amazing to have a one-of-a-kind piece. It is truly special. But I feel like there's something that you can make. If you make things like that, I don't know, I keep seeing jewelry, but it can be anything. I feel like there's something you can get made into a mold, so you can do something more on a production type, you know, where you get a bunch of them made. You make that once, you spend a lot of time once, but then once you do that one perfect prototype, then all of a sudden you can get something produced and you can like free up some of your time and not have to work so hard on everything. And then maybe still do your custom pieces here and there for those that really do appreciate it. Because I do feel like some of you still have a love for that. That could also be if you teach. If some of you teach and you have each class where you have so many students, I feel like there's also a way to maybe film something, or I'm getting even develop some kind of classes or something where people can maybe pay online. You filmed it once, but now you can have more than 10 students because it's a forever thing and it can keep expanding. I hope that made sense. I know that's not for everyone, but it's giving me goosebumps. So it's definitely for somebody. Oh, it's good. It's for somebody. And just if those two examples don't make sense for you, use that energetic example for whatever it is you work on to see how it's almost like getting residual rights. You know, if you are, let's say you do voiceovers, you know, you get paid for that one voiceover that you do the 4 hours in the studio to film that commercial or whatever. But then every time it's aired, you make a little bit. I feel like there's something you can do once, but it's going to bring some more results in. But maybe for some of you, you have to talk to the right person. Maybe that's that little birdie there, you know, has the right information for you, because I feel like the information and the advice is out there. There also has to be some effort on your part. You are being protected by this angel here. You know, if you thought nothing was going to turn around, something is going to blossom. Just like those daffodils, you know, all winter, those bulbs are underneath the ground. But you know, when those daffodils pop up at that little beautiful burst of springtime where growth occurs again, that something is going to come back around. Something is going to change. And they come back every year. There's something I'm getting about this year being extremely abundant for you. And I feel like it's going to be very different from last year. Whenever it is that you are watching this, there's always this beautiful stained glass window right there. There's a church right there. So there's no reason to sit outside in the cold. You just have to get up and try to knock on the right door. If that door doesn't open, another one will. And if neither of those doors open, you keep moving and you look for an open door, that open window. Negative thoughts manifesting into real, you do have challenges here. So I guess that's what's changing. It's that happy energy I saw before, that manifestation where you just, even if it's not happening right now in your life, just imagine one time when you were so happy, or fantasize about something that would make you so happy to try to do or to get to have or be in that experience and be in that energy. Because if you're always in the, oh, woe is me, it always happens, it never happens, or something's going to go wrong, you're going to get that offer and it's not going to work out. You're going to meet that person and they're going to leave you. You know, it always happened like that, or these circumstances, blah, 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 blah. Get rid of the blah. Have some consciousness in your mind to change the blah into the, yeah, it could. There's a solution. There is a way through. You know, it's being the energy of possibility and faith than anything that is half glass full or always being drained. even those situations, weird situations, crap situations you've gone through, did you grow? If you came up to that roadblock again in the future, would you do it the same way? Or would you, maneuver yourself a different way, even if you fall into a pothole? Did you get up faster than you did the last time? Did you gain more strength than where you were? Did you learn something valuable by that weird chapter in your book? Because it's all about a journey. Sometimes you got to go over the waterfall. Sometimes you got to fall off your floaty, but you get back on your floaty and you keep going. So it's having even gratitude for all of that. Even that alone changes the vibration, starts to open up new possibilities in your life. If you always feel like something's missing, or I actually feel like somebody's really upset that somebody kind of pushed you out. Maybe that was somebody had to deal with their own thing. Maybe you got pushed out because you didn't vibe with them anymore, or they didn't vibe with you anymore. So you can't focus on that energy. You have to see what you vibe with, what you enjoy doing. Negative thoughts manifesting into, it's lack mentality here, into real challenges, fears surrounding money, reach out to others for assistance. Sometimes it's just poor timing for becoming self-employed. Maybe some of you had a business you started, it was really a desire, but maybe it didn't work out. Maybe it wasn't the right season. Sometimes you have something that doesn't work out, so you learn how to make it work better. Sometimes that specific niche wasn't exactly really going to manifest or grow, but you trying something in a niche and then expanding it to something a little different. Sometimes it's just a little spice. You had that bland, boring broth soup. You just need to put a little bit of, fire in that situation. I actually see jalapenos. You gotta put a little sizzle in that. You gotta switch something up. I feel like if something didn't work out before, it's going to turn around. Let's get you another one. Let's go to another. Let's clarify this. Clarify. And both of the 9 and the 5, working 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. Barely getting by. I do feel like if some of you were doing something 9 to 5, you can do something as a side hustle. I also feel like some of you might just start to take a class or do something 1 day a month, 1 day a week, and that might eventually, merge and become your real job. But maybe it's just doing something extra that brings something back up to par. I also feel like if some of you have customers that decreased, they're going to start to increase. I also want to say carry a piece of citrine with you. I did see the stones before with the marble, right? Citrine, I always see like a merchant stone. If you do anything where you wear an apron, like a waiter, a waitress, or you have any kind of business or store and you have a cash register, or even if you do something in your car, put it in your, the little compartment thing, because citrine has a beautiful way of, let's just say you have customers. You will have such a good time with your customers or your client or your students, whatever it is, where they leave with that enthusiastic energy, even if it was a little, even if it was a tough conversation, they're still like that, wow, they learned a lot, or wow, they had such a good time, where they're going to be a repeat customer now, or they're going to tell their friends like, yo, I just met the coolest person that owns this store. You got to go see their stuff. And now that person comes in, you have that beautiful energy with that person. They tell someone else that tells someone else, and so on and so on. So I am seeing citrine for some of you. Might be helpful. Let's get one more. I actually have to go rehearse. So this reading is going to be a little shorter today. Let's get you one more final message that would be helpful. What is the final focus on 5 of Pentacles, 9 of, I also see that for some of you, there's something you can, I don't know why I see like health insurance. If you're like, concerned about health insurance or something where you have to pay for something. There's a, what do they call that? Like a, I'm not getting the word. It's like a free, something free in your community or in your state or in your country where people will like volunteer to be your middleman, your middle person, to do your negotiations to help you out, especially if this is something you're negotiating and you don't understand what they're talking about. There's a way where somebody can help you get something that you may have been paying too much for. I also see a mentorship, a grant, a scholarship. If some of you don't think that that is accessible or available, sometimes you just need to ask. Sometimes you need to ask and then let something go, and all of a sudden something could be created just for you. I also feel like there's a way, if some of you want to travel, there's somebody that will either sponsor you or you go with some kind of group where your flight is paid for, or maybe it's paying for your flight, but you're visiting somebody and you don't have to stay in a hotel. I also see that maybe some of you even were doing something kind of like an apprentice, which is really valuable. You know, it's a little sucks as you have, in the beginning, because you're probably doing an apprenticeship and you're probably working to pay the bills. But I ran out of space. I had to empty the trash in my phone. I forget sometimes with all the content that I put in here that even though I have a huge capacity in my phone, it still fills up. So maybe it's taking out the trash, restarting, keep going. Let's get you a last message because I do have to skedaddle. What is one final message on overcoming obstacles, letting go, fireworks, love at first sight, something taken off, an instant connection? For some of you, that could be an instant connection with a teacher or a business partner or a new friend, or an instant connection to a new skill that you start. You didn't even know you've already perfected it in a couple past lives. You're just good at it. Feeling like things are finally turning around, and ooh, you got the Queen of Coins. You are going to manifest. This is you putting your hands on your everyday, like day-to-day life. The things, I did see somebody doing something with a mold. So maybe you're remolding something in your everyday world. Maybe this is the person that has that gift or that grant or that opportunity or that advice. This queen knows how to manifest. She's very sensual. You know, she's really creative. She's also apparently with this bunny very fertile. Also with the bunny, I don't think of it going the straight way. It's sort of when I saw the paths cross and the shape and all that stuff. Bunnies like run all different ways to confuse, you know, anything they think is chasing after them. So maybe it's about zigzagging your way through rather than the straight way. It's also where you do have the capacity to really manifest abundance in your world, to really bring this solid, stable foundation to the forefront, to be, it's definitely where your finances are going to improve. Look at her huge coin. Also with that coin, it does look gold. It's not like, I don't know, it's not like cash. It's something more valuable about it. And maybe with that coin, you have to look at that side of the coin, the other side of the coin. Maybe that's what you need to look at that you didn't see before. And always pay attention to the edge. You know, it's that connecting side that most people don't pay attention to. I just heard lace. Maybe there's something about lace. And I just heard graffiti. And I just heard, I actually just heard eggs. I don't know why. And pair. A pair, maybe it's about you and someone else being a perfect pair. 2 peas in a pod. I'm getting something about details, and I'm not sure what it is. Maybe pay attention to the details of something, or if you were too overly focused on the details, maybe it's splattering outside the lines. This is usually a queen. She is like, she's logical, she's practical, she's realistic. She would rather just know the truth so she knows how to maneuver and move in her life than to beat around the bush. You know, she has an attention to detail. She's really creative with her hands or what she does, even if it's just writing. This queen is very grounded. She's very giving. I always feel like she's a good cook, or she can make magic out of mess. You know, she goes into the garage and figures out how to make one man's trash another man's treasure. Maybe it has something to do for some of you with a thrift store or like revamping furniture. I'm even getting tailoring something to fit you. Maybe something's tailored just to fit you. Maybe she's tailored to fit you. Maybe she can help you tailor something to perfectly fit into your life so it does grow. I do feel like there's something being mended. Generous, practical, gracious. She can be materialistic. We'll look at her upside down. She could be really, you know, really wants the name brands, really wants the biggest house. She has to have the coolest watch, the best sneakers, really worried about, you know, the 3D commercialized world. And she probably works hard to have nice things. But when this queen is both grounded on earth and tapped into the love of her heart and these desires that tap into how, you know, her higher self, her connection to source, to God, is giving her this insight to have something grounded and flourish in her life, then the manifestation is so much bigger. It also manifests more into experiences that she gets to have more than just holding on to precious things. You know, I just thought of like my precious, what is that? Lord of the Rings. A love of family and home. Be practical about how you proceed. And it's the love of art and beauty. I just thought of that song. I love when that song comes through. I'm Ready for Love by Arie. It's just so beautiful. I am ready for love. Why are you hiding from me? I'd quickly give my freedom to be held in your captivity. So I gotta do a little warm up before I go to rehearsal. So be practical about how you proceed. The beauty, the love of art and beauty. The reason I thought of that song is because of the one line. For a man who loves music, a man who loves art. Oh, it's giving me, look at the hair, look at my goosies. Respects the spirit world and thinks with his heart. It's just so freaking beautiful. All right. And have a sensible approach. One message from the universe to sum this up. Please and thank you. When the world feels like it's coming crashing down around you, take that. That's what I love when these sum it up. Take it as an opportunity to find yourself, and guess what? Let go of who you thought you were. You know, not all storms come to destroy your path, your life. Some come to clear your path. What did you have here? Sometimes you need a little divine friction, a power moment, divine intervention, you know, because it's helping you get unstuck, or it's unsticking something that was getting in your way. It's getting you to go a different way. It's heading you towards that open door. It's putting a little spice in your life to give you strength. Decide that this crisis will be the turning point for what you have been waiting for. Sometimes it takes that, you know, that last straw, you know, that, I don't know what it is, like letting the last shoe to drop, or whatever that phrase is, for you to actually make moves in a different direction. At the time, it doesn't always feel like a blessing, but at the time you can choose to see how it could be. a blessing in disguise. I love you so very much. Thank you for being here today. I hope this reading was helpful for you, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. Thank you for blessing my life. I love you. Bye.